The rain-soaked jungle was dense and unforgiving, each step a battle against the thick underbrush and tangled vines. Alex Monroe pushed forward, the thrill of discovery burning in their chest despite the constant drumming of rain on the canopy above. The map, now damp and crinkled from the humidity, was clutched tightly in their gloved hand. It was a relic in itself, a map scrawled in faded ink, showing the way to the fabled Lost City of Zephyr. For years, Alex had searched for any clue that might lead them to this moment. Hours spent in dusty libraries, combing through ancient texts and forgotten scrolls, had finally paid off. The map had been hidden in an old manuscript, its secrets revealed only after Alex had painstakingly deciphered the cryptic language. The thought of the treasures and knowledge that lay hidden in Zephyr spurred Alex forward, despite the dangers that lay ahead. Behind Alex, the rest of the team trudged through the muck. Marcus Steele, the grizzled veteran of
Like the video and make the video reachable to English learners like you. Subscribe to get the latest uploads and never miss a video.
Countless expeditions, moved with the steady pace of a man who knew the jungle well. His eyes, sharp and watchful, scanned the surroundings for any sign of danger. Dr. Evelyn Hart, brilliant and determined, followed close behind, her mind already racing with the possibilities of what they might find. Jake Turner, the youngest of the group, brought up the rear, his tech gadgets slung over his shoulder, his eyes wide with a mixture of excitement and fear. As they pressed deeper into the jungle, the air grew heavier, filled with the scent of wet earth and decaying leaves. The light dimmed as the canopy thickened, and soon they were moving through a tunnel of greenery, where the sounds of the outside world were muffled into an eerie silence. Every now and then, Alex could feel the weight of unseen eyes watching them from the shadows. Hours passed before they stumbled upon their first sign, a massive stone statue, half buried in the earth, its features eroded by time. The statue was of a figure, tall and imposing, holding a staff in one hand and a symbol in the other. The symbol was unfamiliar, but Evelyn was quick to photograph it, her mind already working on its possible meanings. "This is it," Alex whispered, more to themselves than to the others. "We're close." Marcus nodded grimly. Close to what, though? The city, or the curse? The mention of the curse sent a shiver down Alex's spine. The legend spoke of a terrible power that guarded Zephyr, a curse that had doomed the city and all who sought it. But Alex was determined. The promise of uncovering a lost civilization was too great to ignore. As they moved on, the jungle began to change. The trees grew taller and closer together, their roots twisting and gnarling across the ground like the bones of some ancient creature. The air was thick with moisture, and the light that filtered through the canopy took on a greenish hue, casting eerie shadows that danced at the edge of their vision. Finally, they reached a clearing. In the center stood a massive stone temple, its walls covered in carvings and inscriptions. The temple was ancient, its stones worn smooth by time, yet it radiated a sense of power, as if it had stood watch over the jungle for millennia. Evelyn gasped in awe. This is incredible. These carvings, they're unlike anything I've ever seen." Alex stepped forward, their heart pounding with anticipation. The entrance to the temple was flanked by two massive stone doors, each engraved with intricate patterns. The air around them felt heavy, charged with the weight of the past. "We found it," Alex said, their voice barely more than a whisper. "Zephyr." But as they approached the entrance, a sudden rustling in the underbrush caught their attention. Marcus was the first to react, his hand moving to the knife strapped to his side. From the shadows emerged a group of men, led by a figure that Alex recognized immediately. Victor Blackwood. The notorious treasure hunter, known for his ruthless methods and insatiable greed, stepped forward, a smirk playing on his lips. His eyes gleamed with a mixture of amusement and menace as he took in the sight of Alex and their team. Well, what do we have here?" Victor's voice was smooth, but there was a dangerous edge to it. "Looks like you've done all the hard work for me, Alex." Alex's grip on the map tightened. "This city belongs to history, Victor. Not to you." Victor chuckled, a cold, mirthless sound. "History belongs to those who seize it. Now, why don't you hand over that map, and we can all walk away from this in one piece?" Marcus stepped forward, his stance tense and ready for a fight. Over my dead body. Victor's smirk faded, his expression hardening. If that's how you want it. Before the situation could escalate further, the ground beneath them began to tremble. A low rumble echoed through the jungle, and the trees around them swayed as if in fear. The air grew colder, and a strange, otherworldly sound filled the clearing, like the whisper of 1,000 voices, long forgotten. Victor's men looked around nervously, but Victor himself seemed unfazed. Looks like the legends were true after all, he said, his eyes locked on the temple. The doors of the temple began to open slowly, revealing a dark, yawning entrance that seemed to pull the light into itself. The whispers grew louder, filling the air with a sense of dread. Evelyn stepped back, her face pale. This isn't just a temple. It's a tomb. Alex felt a chill run down their spine. They had come seeking knowledge, but what they had found was something far more dangerous. The curse of Zephyr was real, and now it was awake. Victor turned to his men, his expression a mix of excitement and greed. Move in. We're claiming that treasure. But as Victor's men advanced toward the temple, the ground gave a violent shudder, and the first of many traps sprang to life. The jungle came alive with ancient mechanisms, spikes shot from the ground, stone slabs slid down to block their path, and the very earth beneath their feet shifted and cracked. Alex, Marcus, Evelyn, and Jake barely had time to react before the chaos erupted. They scattered, narrowly avoiding the deadly traps that had been set by the ancient inhabitants of Zephyr. The temple was a fortress, designed to protect its secrets at any cost. As they regrouped at the edge of the clearing, Alex realized the gravity of their situation. They were not just racing against Victor, they were racing against time, and against a curse that was determined to keep the secrets of Zephyr hidden forever. We need to get inside that temple, Alex shouted over the din of the collapsing jungle. It's our only chance. Marcus nodded, his face set with determination. Then let's move. But we're going to have to be smart about this. No more surprises. Together, the team made their way toward the temple entrance, dodging traps and avoiding Victor's men, who were now caught in the deadly maze. The closer they got, the stronger the whispers became, until they were nearly deafening. It was as if the very walls of the temple were alive, warning them to turn back. But Alex couldn't turn back. Not now. The answers they sought were within reach, and no curse or rival treasure hunter was going to stop them. As they crossed the threshold into the temple, they knew there was no turning back. The lost city of Zephyr was no longer just a legend. It was real, and it was waiting for them.